Hello, everyone. Give it a couple of minutes and see if the notifications actually go out. Being Super Bowl Sunday, kind of figure everybody's busy. But I'll talk to myself here for a minute. We're doing this live because there's so many empaths in the community that we hang out with. And sometimes it's necessary to block things, do deep cleansings, everything just to keep our own sanity. And I think everything is lagging today because it keeps going back and forth. Hey, Alice. So for today, I've got a little bit about when an empath shuts down and ways to cleanse the energies and get rid of all that negativity that other people like to throw onto an empath. And most of the things that I have written down, so I can follow my script, is actually stuff that I do. Hey, Mel. Good to have you here. But I will drop the link in case anybody wants to come up and talk about being an empath or any experiences that they have had, ways that you block it, what little tricks help you to get rid of the energies or the narcissist that is causing the bad energies in your life. Hey, guys. But there's that link. Mostly everything that I have written out today is about dealing with a narcissist, because we all know quite a few of those. But okay, so while I wait to see if anybody wants to come up or not, the thing about empaths is that there is so much kindness and beauty that can be offered to the world, and people take advantage of that majorly. As empaths, we want to make it better, and that includes making the world a better place, not just individual people. And the problem is that we usually have low boundaries. We have the low boundaries in place because we don't know at a moment's notice when we're going to have to help somebody. And that also means complete strangers. We have to help everybody, just plain and simple. Family, friends, coworkers, bystanders, they all pick up on this. And then they lean in giving us more weight to carry. An empath won't quit though. We always go that extra mile. And we go that extra mile for everyone. The narcissist is attracted to empaths. They think, like, wow, this person is an empath. What more can we get from them? They see the beautiful bright light that is possessed within the empath, and they want to take it. They see us as an opportunity, not as a mutual human being. They manipulate and mirror back what we want to see, and then they devalue us. They take what they want. That's the whole point of a narcissist with an empath. They take what they want. Sometimes we see somebody and we're thinking it's too good to be true. And normally it is. Because normally those people are the ones that want to take everything from us. Most narcissists are literally like a used car on a car lot that has this beautiful paint job, but there's no motor in there. There's no motor in that vehicle. You cannot move it off the car lot. When we notice what is going on, we walk away, but we are already caught in their web. And it takes on average 7 times of walking away before we stay away for good. And that's like the rule of sevens. It takes 7 times at least to walk away from domestic violence or to try to go to rehab for substance abuse. Everything like that works in the rule of 7. And walking away before we stay away, that time is when they try to use us even more and they try to drain us. As empaths, we need to change that. And once we realize that we are dealing with a narcissist, we just need to completely release that damn flying monkey. Once the empath is pushed too far, we can learn to say no. We won't do it any longer. We call the monkey out for what they are, and we let others know that we cut the strings and the monkey now flies free. It's our way to protect the other empaths around us. Boundaries are needed, though. Telling people to not contact you during your working hours or during family time. Tell them that you are available for one quick ride to the store a week, maybe twice. Or have them pay for something over their phone and then just pick it up and drop it off at your convenience. Boundaries are important for empaths. And boundaries come in all shapes and forms. Like, there's not just one boundary that works for every empath. When you say no to someone else, you are saying yes to yourself. That's the key. Saying yes to yourself. You are saying yes to your downtime to just chill. You're saying yes to your kids going fishing. You're saying yes to your cat getting some cuddles. When you say no to a narcissist, you are saying yes to your parents or to your elderly grandparents. You are saying yes to that family dinner, or maybe even yes to that closet or pantry getting cleaned out. Saying no to the narcissist allows you to say yes to other, more important things that don't add weight to your shoulders or add dark to your light. So, some of the simple things to do to cleanse for the energies. I'm not going to go into full in-depth rituals because I haven't actually been asked to do that. And this channel is based on basically what people ask for or, suggest. But to keep it to the basic minimum, I do have 10 or 11 things here that work. And all of them are something that I personally do. So, number one is the most basic thing possible, but it works really well. Just washing your hands. Every time you cleanse your hands with soap and warm water, you are cleansing your energies. Hey, Mars, good to see you. Hey, Austin. So, whenever you have the water running down your hands, it literally takes away the energies as well as the dirt. But if you're like in a business meeting and you are shaking a lot of people's hands, cleansing those hands keep the energy from going up through your arms and into your body and into your mind, and you can literally wash their energies down the drain. Another way to wash them away is to shower with salt. You can keep sea salt in your shower and mix it with soap or shampoo, but you can also sprinkle some sea salt just in the bottom of your tub or your shower and just leave it there until you go back in for your next bath, because that way it'll keep that area clean and, absorb all the energies and stuff like that too. And then there's bathing with salt or essential oils. You can mix sea salt or Epsom salt, either way, into your bath water and then add some essential oils. You can use like rose, lavender, or chamomile if you want to calm the energies, especially if you've been like at a nursing home visiting like elderly grandparents or something. You don't really want to take away all of those energies because that is tied to your ancestral energies. So using something mild helps just remove the negative part of those energies. But if you need a deep clean, you can use sage oils in your bath water. And then there is water cleansing rituals. The water cleanses the sacral chakra. That's the second energy center. You can drink a glass of water mindfully, and I do mean very mindfully, and visualize the internal cleaning. You can choose a color of a glass for what you want to cleanse away. Yellow if you're a teacher stressed about students, because yellow is for like intellectual things. Wind, there's a whole lot of different pagan views of what colors represent. And I won't go into those unless I'm asked about them because, try to keep this channel neutral as possible. But orange, if you're in a justice field or law enforcement and you're like having to go in and out of court to testify. Brown, if you're a veterinarian or you work like in construction. Green, if you're an accountant or you work like in a garden or a tree nursery or something like that. Red, if your job takes courage, like a firefighter or a policeman. You can also use red for relationships, like if you're in the middle of a breakup or your ex just will not leave you alone and you want to cleanse the energies from that person, using a red glass can help with that. Black, if you want to rid health issues taken on by others, or you can go for a swim and visualize the current taking it all away. Either way, water is very important in getting rid of the negative energy surrounding an empath. And number 5 on the list is you can cleanse your space. Okay, there's Mel. I'm still trying to use the mouse on the other computer to do things on the laptop. Hey, Mel.
Hey, how are
Hey.
you?
Oh, good. Tired. My cat's driving me crazy all day.
Aw. Well, I have you. I thought I would call in and tell you. I don't know much about specifically to empath, but I read this book a while ago, and it was I kind of took some things out of it. Didn't use most of the book, but like this one thing really helps me of creating a place in your. So what you want to do is like protect yourself before anyone can even their energy, whatever you want to call it, can affect you.
Yes, definitely.
So what I do is I created this like place in my head. I love waterfalls, I love water, I love like caves and nature and things like that. So like my waterfall is basically like my mental way of putting down like a barrier between me and whomever I'm going to interact with. And so I I even taught it to my daughter when she was about 8. I used a garage door, but it's so helpful. I don't know if anyone has ever tried this. It's not something that I particularly came up with. I just kind of made it fit to what I wanted, but like if I'm around someone, there's this one person, it's a husband of one of my friends, and he's just like a ball of nerves, and just like he's just like static electricity, if that it makes any sense at all. And with him, like I can't even like allow, because it just like sucks me dry to be around him, because
Hmm.
I start to feel like what I think he's feeling. um, but yeah, like being able to put a waterfall down, and sometimes the waterfall goes into a never ending like a black hole, and then sometimes I can have it land in a small water reserve, and then it splashes out and I can still connect with people, but I'm not allowing them to drain me dry, you know.
Yep, that is very important to do. Austin says he does the same, but his headspace is empty and dark. See, mine is kind of like that, Austin, but for me,
Mhm.
it's like a very dark space, but it has like this growing ivy in the back, like in the very back corner. And
Okay.
then as the energies come to me, or, I feel like it's being an overload of them, those energies, like in my mind space, it's creating the ivy to grow. And
Mm.
so, like, the ivy is living off of the negative energies and stuff, but it's got a purpose because it's helping it grow, which therefore, the farther it grows, it expands, and then I can help other people. Like, each leaf is like a different person that I could be helping.
Oh, that's
So,
nice.
yeah, we need those mind spaces.
Yeah, it's done wonders for me with my like. I thought it was just a lot of anxiety when I would go out, like it'd be anywhere, whether it's a grocery store or wherever I go. It's just like it's so overwhelming for me. But when I started to do that, I noticed that I was more successful at being around bigger groups of people, which I'm normally not real great at.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm the same way. But yeah,
we were talking
those.
about narcissists earlier.
Hmm.
They are definitely some succubuses.
Yes, they are. And I mean, to an empath, like we can pick up like on a deeper level of a narcissist. And the
Mhm.
sad thing is we can actually see through them. Like, we're freaking empaths. We can see their motives. We can feel it, but we still for some reason allow them to drain us. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, isn't it a conundrum? I mean,
Mhm.
of just I don't know. The older I've got, the more I've been able to make myself set really strong boundaries. I had a friend that was histrionic personality disorder,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so traumatic. The exit from that friendship, like she stalked me for a year in real life, like would be outside my house. I mean, it was just a mess. It would change locks, and it was just awful. And after that, it was like I started to evaluate like my role in how I even allowed this friendship to get, like, why was I even friends with someone that was this toxic? Um, and then I started noticing a pattern. Like I had a pattern of collecting people that needed more than anyone could give them. You know, like they needed a doctor, not me.
Yep.
But I still don't really understand. I don't really understand like the empath, or like I'm not sure exactly. I mean, I know what the word means, but it's used in it for different things. But like once I learned that I was a part of the problem, then it was easier to be able to see those people and like like there's different personalities that you just can't, like, you can't help them. They have to help themselves, and like you can try to be a light for people, but to let them corrupt you doesn't do any good for the people that, like, your immediate family or anything like that. And so I was just drained, and I didn't have anything to give the people that I should have been giving it to the whole time.
Yep.
But I do like that analogy of the ivy of like, um, giving giving the negativity a place to be separate from your soul, but
Yep.
yet you can still reach out and try to do the best you can and help other people. And I think that's really what the life is all about. Like at the end of the day.
Yeah, because we can't box ourselves off, whether we're an empath or not. We just can't.
Yeah, yeah.
It's part of life. But then we've got these people that just keep taking and taking, and you know
Hmm.
it gets to be overwhelming. And then we can't do what we're supposed to be doing.
Exactly. And that's when they win.
Hmm.
And like ultimately, like someone with major, personality disorders and that are not a good person, um, they want you to be on their level, and like learning how to protect yourself against that, especially if you have a propensity to feel so much. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes perfect sense. And the thing is, when we set those boundaries or we put up those blocks or whatever against
Hmm.
somebody, if it's just somebody that we meet randomly, online or whatever, they have a tendency to take it real life because they don't want their lifeline to end.
Yeah. Yeah, online is a whole nother bag of burritos.
Yep, it really is.
It is just a real hot mess.
Yep. And for an empath that is actually, connected on deeper levels and stuff,
Hmm.
we can actually be just in a chat room and still pick up the energies as if we was just sitting right across the table from them. So that makes it a lot harder on true empaths
Yeah,
because we can't really just like break that cycle. Like we're always in chat rooms and just life in general. We're always
yeah,
surrounded by them.
yeah. That would be tough. I don't know. I don't think I would consider myself an empath. I don't, but I don't really, like it's a long story on that kind of stuff with me. Like other people have said that about me, but I don't. I guess I don't recognize it in myself, which
Well,
uh,
the thing about an empath is it usually takes us almost years to figure out that we are. And it takes a lot of other people to, bring it to our attention or something.
um,
And now, if we've grown up with it and it's been a part of our life that was nurtured,
there
then
you go.
then we get it, from
Yeah.
early ages. But most of the time, whenever, okay, for like an example with me, I knew that my great aunt was really sick, but she was hiding it from the whole family. And she was still very active. She was doing her day to day things like she had always done, but I knew she was sick. I could just feel it. And
Um,
whenever I would be around her, I would have trouble breathing. And, my mom was always like giving me my inhaler and, trying to prevent my own asthma issues. But then I would leave my great aunt's area and I would be perfectly fine. And about 6 months of this going on, she finally told the family that she had lung cancer. Well, I had half of my family telling
um,
me that I was crazy because, people can't pick up on other people. And then I had half of my family supporting my empath abilities and stuff.
mhm,
So that was the first lesson of me having to block people. And I was young. I mean, I didn't even know what blocking was, but I was still able to somewhat do it.
mhm.
And then, therefore, I had the encouragement and it was allowed to grow. But there are so many people that just get shut down when they're kids that,
Yeah.
they don't even think about it in adulthood, but it still affects them either way.
Right. Yeah. It took me a long time to like. There are things that about my childhood that were very. It was just kind of like really bipolar. Um, where some of my family are from, well, half of them are from the holler, and of witchcraft and different things like that were, that was a part of their daily life, and other different things. I psychic abilities. I mean, just practicing witches, like all of that. And then my mom, um, when she met my dad, she got saved and started going to church. And they picked like a very, very fundamentalist, like extreme cult, like, in my opinion, anyway, um, church. And so everything from like her child, like how she grew up was just absolutely evil from that day for, that day forward. And we were raised then around like demonic possession, and exorcisms, and it's just like this like crazy, scary world. And so like I know that I have so much baggage left over from like all of that. Um, that
Yeah.
and it does affect you even though you don't believe that, like I don't believe in organized religion at all, like not whatsoever. And so therefore I don't believe what my family unit believes anymore. Um, but it's crazy how all of that, I guess, like, it can be called like brainwashing, can come up in areas of your subconscious that make you afraid to accept the gifts that you've been given.
Yeah.
It can be very it can be very hard.
Yeah. And like Mars, she's like, what about growing up in an emotionless family? Mine never showed me compassion or love. The only emotions I recall are anger, and I turned out to be one not wanting that in my life. I could see the things hidden too.
Yeah,
A lot of families go from one extreme to the next.
yeah.
And the thing about being an empath is it's actually something that is recognized in almost all religions, even
Really?
though they don't, not all of them claim it for the self. Like you, if you're a Christian and you pick up on these energies and stuff, and then the Christ, the Lord told me, Christ is helping me see
Right.
this in you. They
Totally.
just give it to the benefit to
Different
someone
entity.
or something else. As to
Hmm.
where the witch empath will be like, I feel this, I own this, I'm going to help you the way I can, and then cleanse the energies or whatever and be done. As to where like the Christian version just prays it away, and
Right.
that's perfectly fine. Like whatever your religion, or your beliefs or no beliefs at all,
Hmm.
empath is something that is present in everything.
Yeah, that
And a
is
lot of people
true.
won't accept, yeah, a lot of people just won't accept that.
Well, and the thing is like it's silly not to, because we're literally we're made up of energy. Like that's what we are, is cellular, energy. Like,
Exactly.
so I think for some people that, like, have you ever met someone that you're just like, wow, they just really cannot read a room, or like they
Yep.
don't pick up on anything.
Yep.
Um, and then like,
They're usually a narcissist.
right, but then I find myself sometimes like getting a little bit jealous
Yeah, I
because
know,
I
me
think
too.
about how much easier life would be if um, you didn't pick up on anything from anyone else. But
Exactly. I mean, I have days that I literally shut down and the world could end around me and I would be the last one to know. Like, I have that ability to physically and mentally shut everything out. I don't do it very often,
yeah,
but like all this YouTube drama and stuff that's going on, before I even go into somebody's chat room, I
hmm,
will literally like block almost everything except for the few people that I know will be in that chat room and not causing drama. And then if I have to, I can kind of open up a little bit, as the chat goes on or whatever. And the same in real life, going to work or whatever.
hmm,
But yeah, it's crazy. And Mars is like, she turned out completely opposite of what they were.
wow,
Her mom wasn't a hugger, but she is. And that's the thing. Like, we are programmed a certain way as a child, and
hmm,
I do fully call it programming.
yeah,
And then we just eventually come into ourselves and we figure out, what's best for us. And it's
right,
like me with like all the drugs and stuff in my family.
hmm,
Everybody expected me to turn into a drug addict and selling and, all kinds of shit. And I
yeah,
totally went the opposite way.
right. And
And
that's,
that's same with emotions and stuff like that too.
do you think that it was because you were able to, are you an introspective person by nature? Like,
Yes.
yeah, I think that goes along with, you know, um, hold on just a second.
Yeah. Being introverted and everything helps to see the outside world because it's kind of like you're looking at it through a window and you're not actually involved with it, but you can open that window at different times to
Right.
let certain things in.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Um,
you're good.
I don't remember what I was saying. That's
About
ADHD.
introverts and you know
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, I know for me, like, I saw a lot of dysfunction, like toxic family dynamics, and it was like like a conscious decision that I made while before and while I was pregnant, of like what Mars is saying, of like I had to, because I am not a touchy person. I don't like it, and I think a lot of that is just me as a person. Um, it just but it's hard for me, and so I had to like have a contract with myself that I would never withhold love and affection from my children. and then I wouldn't hold it over their heads either.
Exactly.
But that I would love on them and be touchy feely with them, regardless of how I felt. And my girls are grown now. Well, one's almost out of high school, and one's in college, and they're very touchy feely. So I think I was able to break that chain, I guess, if you want to call it. Like it's I think that families
Yeah,
make
it's a
a chain,
cycle.
and like when you can take a look at yourself and like what your faults are and your assets, like then you can really break those molds of like all of the shit that we leave our family unit with. It doesn't matter how healthy. Like I love my mom and my dad. Like they are awesome and they have come so far. And they model the best like relationship that that I see, like I want to be like them um in their like marital relationship. But it's still they had to grow up too. Like they grew a lot and like giving people that space to be able to be like, yeah, that really was really messed up, but they continue to work and like everything is but it's like makes it hard for you to like be open, because we
Yeah,
don't want to talk bad about the people that we love or ourselves. Um,
exactly. One thing I've learned though, talking about the people that we either love now or loved in the past is not a negative thing, even if it surrounds a negative situation, because bringing awareness about certain things can never be negative. The thing can be negative,
hmm
but the awareness coming out of it is never
right.
negative.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that got me to where, which I've been speaking up for a long time, like way before YouTube. Like I've
hmm
always been in protests and different things since I was as little as could be. But
Yeah.
there was a time when I kind of shut down and I was taking everything on, but I wasn't, putting it back out. And
hmm
that causes a lot of negativity as well.
Yeah.
And if the person that we talk about, of course, in a respectful way, not like the YouTube drama talk about, but if we're talking about situations that involve people, it just means that we care enough about that person.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I totally get that. I mean, I've said to, like friendships in my life, like if I don't address things, I'm already checked out and I'll be gone soon, you know? um, because like the people that I care about, like I want to fight for that friendship or relationship. And you can't like so many people just are they have the like they want to avoid anything and you can't grow if you're constantly trying to avoid everything, you know. But it
Exactly.
it is hard. Like there are times that like life just gets to be too much, and you have to um break like break away from everything and take that time for yourself and how important that is to like rebuild your um reserves to like keep doing what you do. It's
Exactly. And I mean, from stuff that I've seen, which I won't get all into that, it's your business, but um, the way that you've been able to help Crime Geek, like you've been solid.
yeah.
And I've even seen um, over the past, little bit of time, how you have been able to help her grow.
Well,
So,
thank
like,
you.
yeah, so like I see, and with others and stuff too, like your growth is actually helping others grow alongside you. It's one thing I've noticed. A lot of people like to
Oh,
grow, but they like to hold people down that surround them.
Oh wow, that's so sad to me.
Yeah, it really is. And
Isn't
so,
that just
like,
like
I see you
heartbreaking?
helping her grow,
Yeah.
her achieving a better mentality,
Mhm.
finding her own strength and
Yeah.
different things like that. Like, that is very inspirational to the people that watch it and actually see deeper than, just the conversation that's, at hand.
Right.
But the actual growth that is going between you and her, that is very inspirational. It
Well,
really
thank
is.
you. I needed to hear that today. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
This world gets, you know how this crazy YouTube world can get. Like it's madness, and but there will always be like silver linings, and Crying Geek is definitely one of those. And I like that first live I did with her and her mom. I'm sure you caught it, being empathic of just the way that she started out in that interview, like very like
Exactly.
broken, and then by the time we finished, her voice was so strong, and like she was sitting up straighter, and like everything was just getting stronger about her, you know.
Yeah,
And it was
because
like
he had her stomped so low
she did,
that
yeah,
she didn't even know who she was at that point.
right,
And that's what I'm talking about. Like, your strength
hmm,
literally helped her grow.
yeah, and it was just, you know, and I think that's what like I picked the name like Full Truth is because, you know, like owning your own truth, and owning like, because she did a lot of that too, and I was so proud of her. Now I don't need I'm sorries or anything and like that. It was just like it's your own personal way to your own growth is to acknowledge. We can't change what we don't acknowledge. And I just like I'm just so proud of her. But the thing is like with these type of people and the situation as it stands now, um, we have to like still be on guard to not let those psychopaths and narcissists lead us to unravel, you know. And so because sometimes when we fight back, like if we're not really careful, like we can end up unraveling, and being just like undoing, they even from a distance, they can still undo all of the things that we've like done to safeguard ourselves. And it's like the scariest thing because half the time you don't see it coming, you know, it just be like,
You're blindsided by it.
right. And when
It's
it
kind of
always
that,
looks like,
what is it?
yeah,
The deer in the headlights, whatever it's called, deer in the headlights. You get stuck there.
right. Yeah. And just when you see the, how do I want to say this? Um, when you see someone that has repeatedly put into the world in the virtual, you know, in every world that they're in, um, negativity and hurtful, harmful acts, and you see someone like that being like supported and succeeding in a way, like it can you have to be careful not to let that like take you off your course, and then you're just reactive. Does that make sense? Like
Yes, it makes
that's
perfect sense.
that's where I'm at right now, is just learning to be silent in the face of like adversity. Of like sometimes you just don't have to uh you don't have to fight back um for everything that's out there, because I don't want to unravel, you know, and like you could kind of see signs in your own self, and then like that's why I took that long break that I did, was like just I'm not in a good mental health space, so I'm going to put that out there, you know, like I'm going to kind of take a break. and and
Breaks are needed.
they really are. And like I think a lot of times, and I definitely have a lot of empathy for people that I see a lot of people that don't know. They don't know when they're about to head into um, mental unhealth, you know. And then here in this like YouTube world, like other people are a witness to it, and it's really sad to me. Um, it's not an excuse, and I see so many people using it as an excuse to do
Yep.
bad things, and that's where it was just like, I'm not. I'm gonna make the conscious decision to not do that, and like, it's been really tough. Like, there's a lot that people don't know if you don't say, and like, I'm not going to, and learning how to just let things like slide off of you instead of like collecting them. So I liked your water stuff you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, water is very important, and not only to an empath, but especially for an empath or those that don't even know that they are an empath. But water is very beneficial for everybody. Like it's just a natural substance that cleans away energies, and
Hmm.
a lot of people don't even really think that that's what they're doing. But like they'll have a tough day at work, and then they'll be like, "I'm gonna go to the lake and go for a swim." That's because your
Yeah,
energies are telling you how to safeguard yourself. That it's time to be cleansed, and you leave the lake feeling better.
a
It's
hundred
just,
percent.
yeah, water is just a very important thing to anybody
Yeah.
that is constantly dealing with energies.
Hmm. And the symbolism of, I mean, it's also like you were brought up earlier about Christians using like you're just like going to pray to God, and the difference in different types of ideologies. It's the same with like water. They have like in most churches they have baptism or sprinkling of holy water, but
Yeah,
in the most natural like nature of like just earth, like water and coming up out of water is so symbolic of like shedding of negativity and things that like not clean as in like you're an unclean, being or whatever, but just that symbolism is so necessary sometimes, to like um, be able to move forward and not carry all of the mistakes we've made with us and the other people with us that we don't need to carry. Like just literally rise up out of the lake. Like it's
exactly.
really cool.
That daily rebirth of the new energies. It's
Well,
not
let's
about
not go
yeah, it's
crazy.
not
We don't
about
need to shower
germs
every
or
day.
dirt. Yeah, it's not about germs and dirt, and
Yeah,
when talking about, going and taking a shower, it's not about saying somebody stinks. I mean, they might,
right.
it's whatever, but there's just more to it. Letting those energies go down the drain, literally, or coming up out of it into a new perspective. And
Yeah,
Austin, you're saying that you need to take a break, but you feel terrible if you're not working. There was something that my mom used to say about my dad all the time, and he was a workaholic. But he would come in every day on lunch, and his boss actually gave him an hour and a half for lunch, but he always stayed late. And he would come in and he'd pull his hat down over his face and he'd sit in the recliner and he'd sleep for about 45 minutes. And I always thought he was just being lazy because he wasn't going to go help me fix my bike or, some random shit. And she started telling me it takes a strong person to know when they need a break and to actually take that break. So taking a
yeah.
break is not a weakness.
And not feeling guilty about it
Exactly. Because feeling
because,
guilty about it is just adding those darker energies to yourself.
yeah, when you feel guilty about taking a break, you're not really taking a break from anything. you know, you're not
Exactly.
because you're of the guilt is in the way of like. the break of like healing and rebooting yourself. Like the like guilt and shame are like, I see that so much in with domestic violence. And I don't know what you say on your channel as far as like SA and like if you name them or not, but I'll respect whatever way you want to go with that. But
It goes either way. I mean, sometimes I say essay, sometimes I say the actual word. It doesn't really matter to me at this point.
right, I there's so much guilt and shame that is that and you see it with even the victims of murder, of their families, of like laying this guilt and shame at the feet of people that do not deserve to carry it, you know? And it's a really sad cultural thing, in my opinion.
It really is.
And it really needs to change because it's destroying so many lives, you know, especially just having like a front row seat into watching the way that people react when someone is murdered, and they immediately want to like, what is it about that person that set themselves up to be murdered? And
Exactly. All that
it
victim blaming and shaming and shit. That crap gets me pissed off. Like it
it
really.
really does. I try to be understanding because I, you know, like I do truly feel like most people are good, and um, I think that they do that because of fear.
Mm-hmm.
Fear, fear, fear leads us to do some really horrible things to other people and to ourselves. It
Mm-hmm.
really does.
There's one case that it stays in my mind, and I haven't looked it up lately, so I don't even know if I can find the articles and stuff about it. But there is this woman that had slipped in the shower, and it was like a swimming pool shower or gym shower or something like that. But she had slipped and fell and hit her head. And it was late night. Everybody, they were closing up and stuff, but she just grabbed a towel and she walked out into like the sidewalk in the parking lot area, and some guy assaulted her. And there was like 3 or 4 months of this case going on, and because she was in a towel, they somehow was trying to say that it was her fault. She put herself in that position, and it was like if she had been fully dressed, he wouldn't have done it. And it was like this really huge thing. And then later she started getting some of her memories back, and she had them pull the camera feed of her like leaving the shower area, and there was some blood coming down on the back of her head behind her ear where she had hit her head. And so
Mm,
that guy ended up going to jail for like a really long time. He got like 130 years or something, because they even got him for like not rendering aid, um, and a whole bunch of different stuff, because she had been hurt even though it was self-inflicted on accident.
mm,
So yeah, there's like so much damn victim shaming and stuff, and that takes a toll on a lot of people, not just the victim, because then that makes other people not want to speak up. It's a weight on their shoulders, and it's not even their issue.
yeah. It's like the echoes of the acts of one murderer, or it just continuously reverbs. It just, the echo from that is
Okay, Mark.
so, it's so sad. I really like what Kaz just says. Yes, don't let those that choose to live on the dark side take your energy. Um,
Exactly.
that was something that um, when I started doing this stuff about Greeno, um, it truly is because of the wanting to help victims and future victims. And my I call him my husband, but I just don't believe in like marriage, so we don't have papers or anything, but he's my husband. And he had said, he's like warning me of like, there are people in this world that like there's that line of like the dark side, and they don't care about crossing it. Like they don't. There isn't any boundary with someone that is. So you have to like when you walk in like the light or you follow rules of society, even they don't. You know, they don't follow any particular anything. They follow, you know, themselves most of the time because of their mental illness. But it can be you have to be careful, and that's why I think um, like your chat is so awesome.
Yeah, everybody that uh, comes in here, I mean, it's from different channels and stuff that I hop around to, but
Yeah.
the ones I've never really had any problems. Knock on wood. I don't block anybody. I stay pretty neutral because I feel like if somebody's causing trouble in somebody else's life, they probably need the resources that come across this channel. Like, there's no reason to really block them.
That's
But
wow.
we've had
Yeah.
some good conversations in here.
Yeah, totally. I've had such a great time talking to you. Just kind of like I've been wanting to do these types of conversations on my channel as well, you know, like um because there's so many different I've noticed that I like getting real, you know. I think that's what it really is. It's just like um allows other people to not feel guilt and shame about the things that they shouldn't, you know. And like when we can
Exactly.
own ours, we can help other people, and I see you doing that a lot. And I think that's very commendable, and I think you have a really good heart, and it shows. And
I mean, it gets hard. Like, it's really a big mind fuck it sometimes because, like, the other day I had like 80 tabs open throughout like four different devices, and all of it was about domestic abuse.
yeah.
And so, going from one tab to the next to get the information and stuff to write down for the videos, it's like each tab is like representing a different person. And
Mm,
I take on all of that. Like, I literally take it all on.
yeah.
So it gets
It's been
really hard
hard
to
for
do some
me.
of these videos, but you know,
It's been hard. Yeah, it is. It's very difficult.
thank you, Kaz.
Um, just the with I don't know. For me, like because of my friend that was murdered in a domestic violence situation and brutally murdered at that. How great would it be if there were resources out there and people really started to recognize the signs and you can actually do like preemptive real crime, you know? And because like what I do, you know, like having a true crime channel, like um, the person is already dead and there's already a murderer, you know, whether that
Exactly.
murderer is known or not. And it's just like, it can be, that's why like I felt it was so important with covering Greeno, you know, just like preemptive and cases where you know that like this person is on like a path to just to be to destruction, you know, and like how great would it be if we could put that out there in the world of like a ways to like say someone watches my show and they realize that they're in a situation that is going that could lead to their death and they get out. Like that to me is um that's what it's all about, you
It
know.
really is. And it's like this channel works good with the true crime community
Oh yeah.
because like I can go into your channel or Sunny's or Chaotix or anything like that and see a case that's happening, but I see the deeper side of it.
Mhm.
So I can then decide what series I'm going to do for the week based on a crime that has happened,
Mhm.
but do the pre things like this is the signs leading up to it, or this is where you can call to get out if you see somebody going through this, kind of thing. I've been asked why I don't cover like serial killers and stuff, since like everybody legit knows I write to them all and stuff.
Mhm.
But I'm more about the pre stuff, like trying to
Yeah.
prevent it. And I know that I have made a huge difference because on average, I answer probably about 30 to 40 emails a week
Oh wow.
on different things about mostly domestic violence, but some of it is about SA or being homeless or something like that. But
Mhm.
the majority is domestic violence, and I have been able to help a lot of people find resources and get out of it. I just kind of wish they'd come on panel and tell people that they got out of it. Not like for a boost for the channel, not
Oh
in that way, but so that other people can actually see that it is possible.
yeah, it's very true. Um, I think that I I stumbled into a live like yesterday, that like I've never seen the channel, and I just like hit the live button, like find lives on YouTube,
Yep.
and yeah, of like when people that have gotten out and successfully done it like share, it is so much more meaningful, and like there's so many different levels of, and I have the problem of like, oh, there's somebody out there that is like way worse. Like they went through so much more. So therefore I like make myself insignificant. And,
I do
and
the same.
I think a lot of people do that. And that's why a lot of people don't speak out. And it's sad. I shouldn't do that. I know that. It's something that I battle all the time. And like I've told some of my truths, and it's like it's so hard. And every time that I'm brave enough to tell someone my truth, I always find ways to diminish it right after I've done it. It's the
Hmm.
it's the strangest thing, and I know it's like I can't help myself. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me, but like I'm just being really honest. Um, it's a weird thing that I don't quite understand, but one day I will because I keep seeking to try. You know,
That's all that we can do. Because I mean, I'm the same way.
are you?
And then another issue that I have with myself is I will read like let's say 5 emails, and instead of just going through and answering each email, as they come in, I go through them and I look to see what is like present danger. And
Yeah.
then I answer those. And then I answer the other ones. It's just kind of like vague. But I know that sometimes those vague emails are actually in
Probably
a
worse.
immediate crisis, and they just don't have the time to explain it or say it. Or so I try to kind of like rush through all the emails and send them back like maybe 10 links a piece,
Wow.
and then I go back and actually give them more time and more directed resources to their
Hmm.
cause or whatever. But I feel like I'm picking and choosing on which email seems more desperate, and I don't view it that way. Like they're all very very important to me, equally important to me.
Yeah.
But I have to work on that. Like that's one thing I have to work on with myself. I get back to everybody,
Right.
but if I feel like I'm picking and choosing, but I guess it's just how the email is worded. It clicks with something being present danger versus, my husband is on vacation this week and I'm looking to leave. Well, if he's on vacation for the week and it's Monday, then obviously I've got, at least 4 days to, get this person out of it versus my husband is at work and he's coming home in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's something I got to work on with myself. And
No,
I
I
keep
think
a lot of negative energies based on that.
I don't think so. I think that prioritizing you know, like you can't stretch yourself that far. Like it's impossible to answer everyone and give them exactly what they need for their state, their county, their town. So you have to be able to prioritize. So, but I understand what you're saying, of like feeling like you're putting, like in your case, you know, the domestic violence. Is that what you're saying? Of like you feel like you're putting them into categories that makes you feel bad, or like, or
Yeah,
just
well, I mean,
not trying to help them all?
hey, grandma, watch it. Wait, they're trying to target me? Let them. I'm an open book. But yeah, I mean, it's not really like putting them into like categories per se. But like, if you email me and you tell me that you're locked in a bathroom and you have no way out, well then yes, obviously I'm going to, jump on and try to find resources for your area, local police department, crisis center, whatever. But if you tell
Mhm.
me that your husband's on vacation for a week and you're just trying to find somebody to help you pay a deposit or something like that, well, I feel like I have a couple of days. It's not like that immediate thing. But at the same time, it could be an immediate thing because what if they come back early?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so who is it that is trying to target me and what are they trying to target me about? I really
Hey,
find
Grandma
this
watches.
I really find this kind of humorous, but I mean, oh, D-Boss. Yeah, she's just mad at me. Like, legit. Because she knew I was able to help Mama T. And I mean, I'm not even in the drama. So what? Is she going to be mad at me now because I back down and I don't go there anymore? Like, I'm not going to shut up about the fact that I was actually in a position to help and had resources available and then got ran off. So it's really not my fault. Like, I tried. I failed like four people so far doing this because of the simple fact I was unable to get them resources and stuff. But all four of those people, well, two of them backed down and decided they wanted to stay in their relationship. Couldn't convince them to leave.
Hmm.
Mama T, I had resources available. I had a place that was going to hire her, or two places that was going to hire her on the spot. All she had to do is show up and give my name. She was hired on the spot. No drug test, no nothing. And a place that was going to help her with putting down deposits if she could find a house, different things. But I went into Jimbo's and I legit said, YouTube can be family, and family is about respect. And she went back and told Mama T that I was talking shit. And so I haven't been back. So if she's mad about me about that, I mean, there's worse things that people can be mad about.
Yeah.
But thanks for letting me know, Grandma.
Yeah. I don't know. I always forget because now I just feel like you're a part of, like, like you're so supportive, and like you're just a part of like my community now, and like so many others. I see you and I forget, like, I think we originally kind of met online because of Amy, right?
Yes.
Ooh. Okay, okay. So I think that's
Yeah,
why I was.
there was a about a month or so that me and her could not figure out if I was stalking her or if she was stalking me. Because we was chat hopping and it was just like I'd be in there and then she'd come in, so she was stalking me. And
Right.
then the next time she would leave a little early and go into a chat, and then I would be there. So apparently I was stalking her, and we still continue.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, she's amazing.
I know. I love her so much. You know, there's, I think that the beauty of the World Wide Web of like we now have the opportunity to meet so many people that are so different from us. And that's so beautiful, you know, of like people that you wouldn't normally come across. I made that sound like I was just like just talking about chaotic, but I'm not. Just like in general, like we meet so many people that we wouldn't ever run across and they can teach us and help us to grow. And that is the coolest thing. Like,
It
um,
really is.
but there's always going to be, it's like the Earth's great way of like balance. I don't know. Like, it just seems like you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, because there's so much negativity online, but I guess the point would be like what you look for, you're going to find. And so, um, if you want to find the drama, then you're going to find it because that's what you're looking for. But I think that, uh, some of that is just like, I don't know, I had to kind of back away. Like, I couldn't take it.
Yeah, I get that. And Grandma, they is the non-binary um pronoun, one of them, they, zir, and zim. I usually go by he, they, or they, but my pronouns keep getting all mixed up over here, so I figured I would just put it there.
Can I ask you a question of like, um, I'm a question person, and I think that in this world and day and age, um, so many people feel like they're like not allowed to ask questions, and I want you to know my heart of like I'm not coming from a place of like anything but genuinely wanting to know. Like what is the importance of the pronouns like for you like what do you think is what makes it in an important thing? Like, I don't know. I don't
It's
understand.
not really, for me personally, it's not really an important thing. I mean,
Mhm.
like, you probably have everybody that comes in here. I've been called he, she, they, it, like you name it, I've been called it. And I answer to all of them equally because I just, I'm not going to shut someone down for having their opinion of what they think I should be, I guess is kind of how to say that.
Mhm.
But for me, um, I've had my own battles, my own struggles, and my pronouns represent who I am and how far I have personally come in life. The fact that I use the he pronouns is because I did legally transition, medically transition, and that is just who I am. And the non binary
Mhm.
is because I basically don't see gender. Um, I don't see it at all. When I'm talking to you, obviously I know you go by she and her,
Mhm.
um, but I don't actually see female. And it's not a disrespect or anything. It's just like I don't feel the need to label you.
Oh, wow. That's
You
like
see,
such a great answer. Yeah, I
thanks.
totally
But I
get it
mean,
now. Thank you.
yeah, it's just like you have to label things. Like it's
We
part of
always want to do that, right?
yeah.
You want to like put labels on everything.
Exactly. Like
Like,
I buy sheets and I literally cut the label off of them before I even pull them out of the plastic thing they come
oh
in,
my
just
gosh,
because
me too.
I hate labels of any sort.
Yeah.
It's just like calling a cat a cat. Well, obviously, if you see a cat, you're going to know it's a cat and you can call it a cat. But
Mhm.
what if that little tiny alley cat thinks it's a big, ferocious lion? Like, are you going to offend it? You know, like it's just an animal, a basic
Right.
animal that needs love, needs, caring for. It doesn't matter if it's a 2-ton elephant or if it's a little lizard,
Right.
So I totally avoid labels like on every level possible.
Mhm.
But since I did transition like long time ago,
Yeah.
um, the whole he is who I am. Like that is my identity. But my identity stretches out further
Okay.
because we have the whole stereotypes of pink is for girls and blue is for boys. But back in the day, men wore high heels and dresses, wore
And wigs.
makeup, and wore pink.
Mm-hmm.
Women wore blue because that was a less dominant color. And
Mm,
so, yeah, I have a whole thing up. It's like one of the very first videos I've done on here. Like Boys Don't Cry, talking about the stereotypes of not putting men down, and then there's another one about the color effects and identities and stuff like that. But um, you see somebody wearing like a button up and some pants and some boots, and you automatically assume, oh, it's a guy. But it could just literally be a prissy, sassy little short haired girl that is just a jockey on a racetrack.
right.
So we see labels and we see all these things, and we mix ourselves up so much by just
Mm-hmm.
trying to assume what somebody else is.
Right. I guess it just like feels like sometimes I think with me with labels is it's like they can be so divisive, like
They really are. Like
dividing even more. And like, what is the point of that? Like, I don't understand the point of division and like, um, I don't know. That's why I love like CJ and you. And like, I've had, I don't know if you watch, her or not, but like just the ability to ask genuine questions and not offend, I think is something that's so needed, um, because like ignorance is just not knowing what you don't know what you don't know. Like stupidity is you do know better, but you don't do better. That's stupid.
exactly,
But there's a lot of ignorance, and it feels like there's this wall in between, um, trying to not be ignorant, like for people that are truly like seeking to understand and not live in ignorance. Like it feels like there's just this great wall that like you can't cross it, or you're gonna get in trouble.
exactly.
And
And I
it's
mean,
not
it's
really
like I'm
sharing
an
that.
open book. Like all this stuff. Let people out me. Like I already out myself because I'm being true to my community. You know, if I stay hidden for who I am and my struggles and everything that I had to overcome to get to where I am today, if I keep that all bottled up and secretive, then
Right.
there's going to be this other person out there that is still believing that they can't be true to themselves and they can't be honest and they have to hide. And I hate closets. I hate closets. I don't even
Yeah.
want my clothes in a closet. Like legit. If I could design my own bedroom, I would literally have like just an open space on the wall where I could hang my clothes and stuff. Like I hate
Yeah.
closets. I hate closets and I hate labels.
Yeah.
But
I
that's
think that's
because society
beautiful.
puts too many people into closets.
That's true. Yeah, that is very true. And like that whole like know your role type mentality of like just more divisive labels of everybody's, I feel like so many people don't really get, they just like circle around the truth, but they don't ever really try to get to the bottom of it because, um, for a few reasons, they don't feel like they can. And the fear will get in the way, but like, um, I don't know. I just appreciate it when I can understand where other people are coming from, and I think that's why I wanted to ask that. And you made it make sense. So you've taught somebody that was ignorant something, like, and I appreciate that.
had to get my cat. He was meowing at the door.
No.
But yeah, it's just like I'm very open. Like I'm not one that is just going to like throw the information out there. Like I'm
Hmm.
not going to do a whole video of who I am
Yeah.
because of the simple fact, not everybody needs that. If I have a request or I have a question,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm totally open. I will address it. And, what I say, like community wise, may not be an everybody in the community thing. It's a my thing.
Right.
And even though there may be many that is like me,
Hmm.
not everything will be the same. So that's the reason I don't do like, this is a me and I transitioned at this age and I've been through this and I've had this surgery or, this, whatever. But
Right.
if I'm ever like specifically asked because like somebody is going through the process and they want to know somewhat what to expect, well,
Right.
then,
Yeah.
yeah, you can better believe I'm going to end up doing a video like that.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
find it
That's
better
really
to just
cool.
see a question and answer it at that time because it brings more awareness.
Yeah. And I think, like, well, I'll say, well, when I was doing CJ Beyond the Rainbow is her podcast, and it's true crime and deals mostly with crimes against LGBTQ, and she is an awesome human being. And I had asked her, like, can I ask you some questions, just I want you to, like how I did with you. And she had said, first off, I want you to know that I don't owe you the answers. And I thought that was like so, that taught me so much right off the gate. Um, but out like, so she was like, I don't owe you an explanation or answers, but I'm willing to help you. And, but don't mistake that for like us as a community because you don't understand. We owe it to you to explain it. And I was like, damn, like
Exactly.
that is like, that's really powerful. And
It
that
really
she
is.
was, because she was like, owning, like, basically putting up a boundary. And I think those boundaries are like so important. And I'm glad that she did that because I learned so much from that. And
Um,
then she had the willingness to go ahead and help me to be a better human being, because that's essentially what she did, is just, what I was raised very, I was no schooled. I call it no school because there wasn't any schooling going on really, and in a cult like type church, and so I didn't have a lot of experience with um, really anything outside of my family unit for um, until I turned 18, and then all of a sudden, like being a hairstylist, I'm in a salon with so many different people that were just like so amazing to me. And how could that be wrong? And like that's where I learned that that's why I don't believe in like organized religion and like those types of cults, is just because um that path of growth. But it really has, like a naivete. But also like I constantly want to be learning something new. And
exactly.
yeah, so that's really cool. I mean, I didn't know that about like your transition. I can't imagine how difficult it was. That kind of like coming up out of water for you, like we were talking about that earlier, of just like I'm finally free, or like what was the biggest thing that you took away from that? I can't imagine being born. Um,
Wrong.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that is. And I constantly question the people around me that are offensive. They're just flat out ignorant and stupid. And like, how would you like it if tomorrow you woke up and society and culture and religion was telling you that you were a girl? Because I have some uncles that are just absolutely horrible. And so this was something that I actually said to them, like, and your religion was telling you that you were a girl. Like, can't, like, what, like, trying to, and they couldn't even put themselves in those shoes.
They
Found
can't.
that was
They never can.
so sad. But I also see the fear. It's fear that keeps them in that box of not allowing themselves to even imagine a day where they woke up and, like, you wake up tomorrow and everything is different and you're the one that is wrong. You're the one that is going to hell because of what you do, you know?
Yeah. See, I've seen
Imagine,
things.
what are you going to do? Are you going to be with a man? Because I'm asking my uncle this. And he's like, that's never going to happen because and he couldn't even acknowledge, like, he couldn't even accept that. Just, it was so sad to me. It just broke my heart because I think that when people can put themselves in people's shoes, then that's where you can understand of, like, how painful that would be to feel wrong. I can't imagine it. I really, like, I find it heartbreaking, and when people say things, I think that's, I get the most mad about that. Um, I it's
Yeah,
just
I
really sad.
totally get it. I totally get it. And like Kaz is saying, it seems to be promoting the dark side. Nothing against how someone identifies themselves, although the young people looking up to these idols are, you know, it's just like I don't want somebody that is questioning themselves to look up to me. Now, I would help them
Mhm.
get the resources and stuff that they need, and I have many times. But some kid coming up to me and just being like, okay, well, I think maybe I want to transition later and I don't know how to do it. Do I need to cut my hair now?
Mhm.
Stuff like that. Like I don't even take it serious. Like that's literally probably just a phase.
Right.
Because if you know, you know. And like for me,
Yeah.
I've known since I was like 4 years old. Literally, I would drop my pants and piss on a tree farther than what my male cousins could. Like
Yeah.
it was just one of those things.
Right.
And I didn't have role models. I didn't have anybody telling me or, that I knew that had transitioned to make me think, oh, well, maybe I want to do this. No, it was just something that was already present at a very young age. My kindergarten graduation, my mom put me in a yellow dress and curled my hair, and I would not even go on stage. Like, I would not do it. It
Um,
wasn't right. It wasn't me. It, it was just, it gross. Like, no, you're not getting me out there. And they ended up just giving her my diploma, and I didn't even walk across the stage. But I had always been in jeans and boots or tennis shoes and shorts, or were how I was
mhm.
comfortable. And my family never did put the whole stereotype on me of girls need to wear dresses and stuff, because I was always out in the
Yeah.
yard and they just always called me a tomboy. But I was fine with that because I still got my little police cars and my fire trucks and all kinds of things like that. Like they didn't just believe I had to have dolls. And so
Right.
I was getting to go fishing and hunting and camping and everything that boys would do. And I had literally had all male cousins. So they
Yeah.
had to be nice and include me as they were
Mhm.
told. But I was fine with that because I was getting to play with guns and stick fighting and just
Right.
being myself. But I couldn't transition early because number one, I was born in '80, and by the
Okay. Yeah.
time '90s come around, whatever, it wasn't a thing. Like there was no information out there on it. Like I was just me. I didn't have a title. That's kind of why I hate labels now.
Right. Yeah.
And so then later, I did find out about being able to have like a hysterectomy and stuff and get rid of, for the most part, the estrogen and start the testosterone shots and stuff like that to transition. So that was something that I just wanted to do for myself, but I also wanted my kids. And
Mm.
so I had to postpone medically transitioning until we got the boy at the sixth kid later. And
You have
after he
six
was born,
kids?
yeah, I have five
Wow.
girls and then the boy.
I didn't realize that. I know I've heard a few of them, but I didn't know it was a total of six. Wow. Whew.
Yeah, I've got six in total. The oldest one is 28, and the youngest, my only boy, he's 14. The three oldest ones have um, given me 11 grandkids, and my stepdaughter is due in August. But I mean, it's not even like stepdaughter. Like
Right.
she's just my daughter, but um,
Yeah.
I birthed six of them, and
Wow.
then my stepdaughter, she's given me another one, and then I still have more kids to go before they start multiplying. And yeah, it's going to be a big family.
Yeah. I always wanted a big family, but I don't know. I got divorced and it was like I just doing hair, you see a lot of like I do a lot of people and I'm in a room with a lot of people doing a lot of other people. Like
Yep.
just like it was like, man, I don't want to do that. Like I just got this like bad feeling about it. And sometimes I regret that. Um not have I just have I have two daughters and they are the lights of my life. Like I can't, you know. Um
I'll have to look her up, Cass. I have never heard that. But you said she, so I'm assuming that's more on the trans woman spectrum. I'm more up with the trans men. Um, People who know I transitioned usually come to me looking for the female to male information.
mm,
And then grandma says that you have no idea, or you had no idea, that big, beautiful family and still everything you do for strangers. Like, the only reason I'm able to do what I do is because my children were taught to be um, their own person. And even though I have kids that call me from an hour away to go and make gravy for them, or, have it babysitting, and, then the one that had all the domestic violence issues, I was able to help her through my research and helping others. I didn't really help myself when I was in a situation. Like, I packed up and left. Like, that was me helping me. I didn't have the resources and the chat lines and different things like that. So, everything that I do for strangers um, helps me help my kids at some point in their lives. Just, you know, teaching them to learn who they are and what they are capable of doing. And then, of course, I'm always there to guide them. Although, most kids don't want the parents' guidance, but then they end up using it and claiming it, as their own thoughts. I go through that a lot too. But yeah, it's
yeah.
everything that having the big family has helped me be able to help others. It kind of goes hand in hand. I will definitely look her up, Kaz. Maybe I can get an interview or something. Because I am interested in, I guess you could call it, the other side. Um, like I don't know a lot about everything that a trans woman goes through. I mean, I'm willing to learn it, but I know the basics. Yeah, that is true, Kaz. Just being true to yourself is very important. It doesn't matter what issue or what part of your life, if you want to go and change a job after your parents put you through medical school and you're not happy there, and you want to become a lawyer or something, yeah, it might disappoint people around you and stuff, but being true to yourself is the most important because after that you can help others. And I guess I lost Mel. I'm very interested in learning. Like, I'm willing to learn anything, but I don't want to just learn, like, how do I say this? Like, if you're going to give me a recipe and tell me, this ingredient goes here and mix this and bake it for however long, I'm more into like, I want to do a video chat and I want you to do your side of it while I'm doing my side of it. And, the camera's aimed at the pan that we're mixing things in so I can see yours and you can see mine. Like, I go into the full in depth learning. I don't just, like try to read something and, take away from it. It's okay, Mel. Mine, I've still got to figure out the speaker and stuff on this other one. Like, I'm always having computer issues. Exactly, Grandma. And then the person that teaches me, I mean, I will learn from them even if they're not willing to teach other people, but I really like learning from the people that is going to allow me to kind of maybe teach another person what I was taught, but be able to be like, oh, hey, let's do a group chat so you can learn from the person that taught me. Because no matter what you teach somebody, that person will never know what you know because people don't teach everything. Thank you for coming up, Mel. I really enjoyed it. You're always very insightful on everything. And I dropped her link a little bit ago. If y'all haven't subbed up to her, then do so because you will get some straightforward shit on her channel. Yeah, we never stop learning, Kaz. Okay, but I'm gonna get back to this really quick because I still have a couple of other things about the cleaning the energies. Can't even speak at this point. But number 5 on the list is cleanse your space. If you place small water bowls or vases around your area and add some salt to it, you can leave it overnight and it will absorb like a ton of energies. And then you just take it and you dump it out, preferably like across the street or at the back of a lot or a pasture or something that where it's not just like right outside your door or your window. And then smudge yourself in your space. Sage and sweetgrass is really great. Cinnamon sticks work really great for this too. Eucalyptus bundles, I have used those. They work really, really good. And then grounding yourself, create a strong connection between you and the earth. You can visualize this if you're advanced and can do so, or otherwise you can like hold onto a string or like tie a string around your ankle and then bury it in the ground for a while, or you can sit with your feet covered with dirt or mud. I've come across a lot of people that is allergic to eucalyptus. Like I it's kind of the one thing I don't understand. Like I don't get how somebody can be allergic to it. But I've come across a lot of people that are. It's not very rare. And then number 8 is listen to guided meditations. These keep your energies balanced and clear. You can find guided meditations all over the internet, but do a little bit of research with those because some of the guided meditations do kind of lead you into different areas that you may not be comfortable with. Some of them are for love and light, and some of them take you into a darker place because people who do work with the darker energies, like me for one, um, we use the darker energies to actually heal and protect, and we use them for the good things in life. We just kind of leave the light for other people to use. Like, I don't know if it like makes sense on using a dark thing for a good thing, because society has trained us that dark is evil and stuff like that. It's really not the case. But if that's your belief, then definitely use the light and save the dark for other people to use. It doesn't mean that the dark is being used to harm. You can use light and hex somebody. Like, legit. You can really fuck somebody up with the light. And that's not a good, you know, use of the energies. But you can use the dark to heal. You can use the dark to protect. You can use the dark to go kick somebody's ass too. Like, ain't gonna lie. And then 9, set boundaries, which is something we all need to do, every one of us. If someone in your life drains you, just set boundaries. Spend less time, let calls go to voicemails. If they try to dump anger on you or frustration in a personal conversation, change the subject. Be honest. Tell them that you've set the boundaries and that you are limiting your contact. You can block energies by getting a picture of that person and taping a piece of cardboard to the front of it so that it absorbs the energies before they reach you. If you really want to block some energies, turn their picture around backwards so that their image is facing a mirror and tape that to it. And that is a symbolic way to show them exactly what they are doing. Yes, exactly. It's the yin and the yang. And number 10 on the list is unplug and turn down. Um, honor your need to get back to nature. Like, we all have that need, it's installed in us, but we forget about it a lot of times. So if you go for a hike, a swim, a picnic, go camping, fishing, walking on an old dirt path barefooted, as long as it's safe, of course, is a great way to get back to nature. And then crystals. Crystals work really good if you have them in your space. Place them on your desk if work is frustrating or something, in your bedroom, kitchen, dining room, living room, car. You can literally put crystals anywhere. You can put them in a vase of flowers. Um, they're just like an added decor for the people that visit. They won't even really think about it, but the crystals do their work in the background. And then sound. Sound is a great way to clear energies, like sound bowls, like Buddhists and Taoists and different ones like that, that use the sound to heal and um, break away the bad energies and stuff like that. You can do tuning forks, or pull up a video on healing frequencies. With the healing frequencies, you can pretty much literally, I won't say cure everything, but you can push it back at bay with the tuned in healing frequencies. And those actually work great for like ADHD or bipolar, schizophrenia, different things like that. The healing frequencies help remove the negative energies that make the condition worse. And so, yeah, that's all I have wrote down. So, if anybody has any other ways that you ground or meditate or clear energies or anything like that, it would be good. I'm always looking for new things to try. And my daughter just showed up. Animals are a great thing to have around to help clear energies. If you have like a dog or a cat that goes, hey, Mama Bear, if you have like a dog or a cat that goes inside and outside, um, I'm not one that's going to say, just throw your animals outside because, I personally don't do that. But if you love up on the animals and stuff, they absorb your energies and the energies that you have obtained through others. So it's really important to give them some kind of a grounding technique, which could just be going outside for a little while so they can like lay down on the ground. There's some people I know that with their animals that are like emotional support animals and stuff, they will literally get like a box and put dirt and grass in that box so that they can lay in it for their bed um, in the house. Like they just keep it like in the living room or whatever. And then the animal, after they've done their work for the day, they just go lay down in this little dirt box with, poopy grass. And it helps clean the animal's energies so that the animal can further assist the human. Yeah, going barefoot, I've always done it. Like my kids keep telling their kids, put your shoes on if you're going outside. And I mean, I get it. Things have changed and there could be stickers and glass or nails or whatever. Like, I get it. But if you're in a safe space, like you've actually picked up the yard from like, nails if they've done a roofing job or something, or you have like a little path in your backyard or something that you can walk around on, or going to the beach. Um, I know going to the beach is not always safe to walk barefooted with some of the little critters that bury up, but walking barefooted is always a great way to put the energies back into the earth, but to also bring in the cleared energies. Animals know. They like just know things. Animals are amazing. No, I know that even my fish seem to know. Like just their behaviors and stuff will change. I mean, when they're hungry and they think it's time to feed them, even when it's not time to feed them, they'll start gathering up at the top of the water and, kind of jumping around and stuff. But if I'm like sitting here at my desk and going through the emails or something that's kind of stressing me, sometimes I'll look over and they will all literally just be huddled up in this corner that is closer to my desk. And even if I don't realize that it's time for me to like take a break or cleanse myself of those energies and stuff, I can look at them and I can be like, oh, wait, they're trying to tell me something. And then I'll walk away and like I'll start talking to them or maybe give them a little treat or something. And it cleans the energies. But even them over there in the water and stuff, I think the water helps them pick up on my energies and emotions like a lot faster than, let's say, my annoying cat that is like literally a narcissist because it's all about him. Like he comes to me when I need him, but he's coming to me because he's a narcissist and he wants that attention. Like that's my cat for you. And I have called him out on this bullshit like so many times, and it makes no difference with him. Yeah, it is. Yesterday they suggested that I just put up a live and let it run on the aquariums. I'm actually thinking about doing that. You know, at least letting it run 2 or 3 hours, like while I'm at work or something. If nothing else, and people can catch it on replay. My fish are very entertaining. They really are. I have one that does like the crocodile roll. If you've ever been out and you've seen the crocodiles when they catch onto something and how they roll, I have one fish that will do that. It's not an everyday thing, and it's probably going to be really hard to catch him doing that. But he does, and he will literally like crocodile roll from one end of the tank to the other. I'm glad, Grandma. That's part of the goal here. I mean, like some of it, yeah, it's giving out, some information and stuff that is needed on, like, I guess the darker side of life. But I feel like just having the chat, and it's why I don't stay on topic. I mean, I do. I always get back to the topic, but like I was reading out the list of the cleansing rituals and different things to be done. I got through four of them, and then Mel come up, and we started talking about that, and we got off on transition issues, and then I got back to it. But it breaks it up, and it doesn't make things so overwhelming. And I think that is part of why it's more calm in here. Like, if I was to just stick on one topic and, like domestic violence and talk about, everything that somebody goes through, that's too overwhelming, especially for the empaths. Like, you've got to be able to break things up, and that's why I don't really do very long videos for the series and stuff that I put out. It's just like to the point and short. We can only take so much. But literally, a 5-minute video may be 3 days of me writing stuff down and flipping through so many tabs about that topic. And then the next 5-minute video, I mean, yeah, it may be the same 3 days that I was flipping through stuff, but it's a lot. It really is. And like right now, after this live, I'm going to be start dropping the videos on animal abuse, because a lot of people around YouTube have been talking about animal abuse. And, I see things, I hear things, I have my own opinion. I'm not one to just like call out somebody. I mean, I would I would still help the animal, but I would help the animal with that person. Like I would get a hold of them. I'm not going to just be like, I'm doing this and I'm doing this, or I'm going to do this. No, that's not how I work. But even during this empath series that I was putting out, I was still looking up information for animal abuse. And I'm not just talking like home residency animal abuse, I'm talking like zoos and different things like that too. And when I was doing the series before that on the doxing and stuff, I had started looking up the information on the animal abuse. So I may end up putting out 5 or 6 videos or whatever about animal abuse, but this is literally like 3 works of research on top of doing the research for current series and still kind of following up on past series when I come across information on a different series and I find something that would be beneficial for that, since I do kind of revisit older series and kind of freshen them up a little bit with new information or whatever. So I always have like about 80 tabs open. I try to pay attention. I do. I don't always just, say it, but I'll be like in somebody's chat room or something and I'll hear somebody struggling about, something going on in their life or something they seen a friend going through or see a creator struggling with. And, I take notes about it. I'll eventually have all the series covered. But the thing is, though, a lot of us are into the same things, like the same chat rooms and stuff like that. So we all see and it affects us when it goes on with other people. So if I take a suggestion or something from another channel and I bring it here to do a series about, it's going to be beneficial to a lot of people and the people in the background that hasn't even said that it affects them. I'm glad that my videos are helping. Like I want to like deep down, yeah, I want to have like intros and backgrounds and stuff like that. Like don't get me wrong. I love all that shit. And I think I'm gonna get Army Vet on here one day to do a live and just playing music and stuff to just kind of chill and have fun, lighten up the area a little bit. But at the same time, I can't really afford to have the intros and stuff. Um, Not talking like money wise, but the people that come to the videos for like domestic violence, I've said it 1,000 times. I don't want an intro to start up and get attention of an abuser. If I just have like one of the epoxy stones in front of the camera, they have earbuds in, they can easily say, oh, it's a video about how to make the epoxy stones. They can somewhat lie to the abuser to maybe save their lives. If I had intros and stuff, then for my own OCD, I would have to have a song or something that reflects the topic, and that could like really get people in trouble in their lives. I'm hoping that it's helping. And I mean, I don't expect people to like come to me and say, "Oh yeah, your video made this difference" or whatever. Like I guess it's a little bit of the narcissist in me that like I know my videos are making a difference, but it's not like a big ego rush or anything like that. Like I get the emails and the people that don't even comment, but they tell me that they watched it on replay or whatever. Like I know for a fact that the videos are helping, and especially if they reach out to me for like further resources and stuff. And that's literally the reason that I keep going. If one day if the emails stop, then I'm, may want to think about changing up a little bit, like only dropping one video a week or, like a 2 hour live talking about just any certain topic. But until it gets to the point to where I'm no longer getting emails and stuff, I'm gonna keep going the way I am. Exactly. It's all about being unbiased because like I see shit. Like don't get me wrong, I see shit. And it's just like even with Mel up there with the cold truth, like I see the stupid shit that Greeno has done. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a, oh my God, like, I can't even come up with every name possible that I could call this man, if you can even call him a man, because I've seen the way he has hurt not only victims, but victims' families, their friends. Like, I have my serious opinion on that. But, that's her thing. Like, I don't have to worry about covering that because I know she's covering that. And if somebody comes to me and says, hey, I had a run in with this guy, his name is whatever, I know exactly where to send him or send that person. Like, I know it's, teamwork. We all do our thing. But just because I don't sit there and say exactly what I see, what I hear, um, I leave it open to where my information will work on both sides. Like, I've done some videos to where it's like, if you're being abused, you can use these resources, but if you are the abuser, please call this hotline. They can help you. Like, call out both sides of it. Just reading this. Yeah. Um, I'm planning on dropping a video at some point in this series for the animal abuse to where it's not just US based. Um, I do have trouble when I'm going to look for other countries and stuff, but I did help one lady in Australia get food. So, like, and I've helped people in Mexico too. I'm more familiar with Mexico and the stuff that they have available down there. But the fact that I was able to help a lady in Australia get some food, like, that was a huge ass achievement because it took a lot of looking to find it. And no, I'm not bragging or, anything that I accomplished it, but the fact that I did accomplishment or had that accomplishment, it tells me that I'm on the right track, that I have the ability to go farther out than just my surroundings and my country. So, on this video about the animal abuse, I'm going to try to expand on that and maybe find some hotlines or resources for other countries. I can't guarantee which countries, but just whatever I can find. As far as for the resource video, I'm hoping that I can get resources for other countries as well. Because what I've been working on last night and today about that is there is like a lot of animal abuse in Europe. And then, of course, you've got the stuff going on in China and Japan with the dogs. And, it's just doing this series on animal abuse is not calling out another creator for the way that they treat their animals. Like, it's so much deeper than just that. But at the same point, if the shoe fits, then wear the damn thing. Own up to it. I'm glad that that animal has you guys. You know, Usually I haven't been able to afford it here lately since I was sick and out of work and stuff. But normally I do have food and stuff that I just keep in my trunk that I can give a cupful to, to animals or, like even if I go out to the park or something and, it's like over the winter and um, there's not like a lot of nuts and stuff on certain trees, I will put out like some dog food or cat food and stuff. The squirrels love that shit. Don't really know if it's healthy or not, but they do love that shit. Everybody deserves a treat now and then. My daughter has a squirrel out at the park that if I take her out there, like go by McDonald's and get the breakfast, she'll get a hash brown and take it out there, and the squirrel will literally come up to her and take it out of her hand. Of course, she doesn't give it very big pieces and not much at all because it does have the oil and stuff. But animals are just amazing. That's why I want to do this series on them. Hang on, I gotta mute for just a second. Mm, I got my food handed to me. I feel special today. Basically because I had to go cook it myself. I do too, Mel. Um, I mean, we always hear this stuff about serial killers and stuff like that, harming animals. Not all of them do, though. That's kind of, I would say, one of the stereotypes about serial killers. Not all of them harm animals, and not all of them have wet the bed as children. But yes, the majority has. But I see people abusing animals, and it always makes me think deeper. Like, what the hell is hidden in there? And I call so many people out, like in person, not so much on the internet, but here in town. I've literally went by and seen dogs on tiny, tiny short chains, like maybe a foot long, and I've went and gotten them a bigger chain. My dog, he right now he's outside on a chain. Um, he was just put out a little bit before I started this, and once I wrap it up, he'll come right back in. But that boy, he needs his outside time. But I also have to think about his safety and stuff because we do live on a highway. And as soon as I get the taxes in, I'm going to buy one of those big, like, outside fence kennels and put a top on it because he jumps the fence out back. So for his safety, yes, he's on a chain. It's not a short one, and he's not out there very long. I do actually have the porch fenced in too, and a couple of puppy pads and stuff out there for him where he kind of runs around on the porch. And my daughter's dog does the same. But yeah, they always got like food and water, and I don't know. So I just compare like how I raise my animals versus what I see in town with some animals. And plus, where I work, we always get animals dumped off there. I had brought a cat home one time because they literally just drove by and threw it out the window and kept going. Um, so I wouldn't even let any of the regular customers that usually come in and try to take these animals and find them homes and stuff. I wouldn't even let them take them. I actually brought him home and made sure that he was okay and everything for a couple of months before I did eventually find him a home. But the customers have seen me, and I mean, I've been there for 4 years. So I know my regular customers really, really well, and pretty much the vicinity of where they live and stuff. So I could drive by an area and see their truck or whatever. I have probably about 10 of them that I can randomly just call up and tell them that I've got a dog that's been dumped outside the store right now. It's eating corn dogs and chicken strips, and you want to come up and get it, and they will. They'll be there like in a heartbeat to get them. Um, some of them they've actually kept. There's one guy, he literally has like about 12 dogs and probably about 30 cats. But he has like this huge ass ranch. Like, it's huge. And he has the money, of course, to actually feed them all and he takes them all to the vets. I'll call him and he'll come up and get a dog, and then like a week later he's back in the store and he's showing me the vet papers and stuff from where he took that dog or the cat or whatever. Um, People like that do things like that are truly amazing in my book. Possums are awesome. We have a couple of possums out here and a couple of coons and a skunk that every year she comes up here with two little babies. Every single year. And she eats cat food and dog food. And if I'm sitting out at the porch like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, if I have some dog food with me, she'll actually come up and eat them out of my hand, and she'll take the piece from me and she'll give it to her babies. And then she'll come back and get another piece and she'll give it to her other baby. And then she'll come back and she'll get a piece and she'll eat it. And then she'll take another piece to her babies. Like, she'll sit there for like almost an hour before they run off. Just the skunk eating dog food or cat food. I love all animals, but I'm particularly fond of the wild animals. Like, those animals show some strength and courage, especially the ones that's older, like the skunk that's come back for 4 years. Like, I don't know how old she is, but I know she's at least 5 because she was grown and had her first set, or at least a set of babies, the first time she come up here. So I know she's like at least 5. But we've got a couple of coons and stuff too that come up here, and I've got an armadillo that goes and gets in stitches. Like, my dog, he has one of those turtle sandboxes, but it's full of water. And we have the armadillo that will come up there and splash around in his pool in the middle of the night. That thing thumps around loud too. Like, I can hear it in my room whenever he's out there. Yeah, there is a lot of snake killing that goes on. I mean, I'm guilty. I am guilty of that, but I won't just like go out into their natural habitat and kill them. We had a rattlesnake come down out of our attic and was trying to eat the eggs out of a bird nest that was in the corner of our porch. And I shot that thing. Like, no, not happening, because we've got the ceiling vents and stuff. Like, that thing could come down at any point in time. So shot that one. And then like 2 days later, a water moccasin come down out of that same damn hole and try to get to the eggs or the baby birds. I don't remember if it was eggs or baby birds at the time, but anyway, the rattlesnake come down, and a couple days later, the water moccasin come down. They both ended up being skinned. I shot them. I skinned them. You know, I did the whole thing. Put the skin into a dream catcher, and then sold that dream catcher. But yeah, I won't even go out and like go on a snake hunt just to kill snakes and stuff. If they're in the backyard, they're good. It is plugged up now, Grandma. We ended up plugging it out. Didn't even know the hole was there, honestly, until we seen the snake come out of it. Like, I don't know if it was just a weak spot in the wood and he popped his head through, or maybe a woodpecker drilled it, because we have woodpeckers out here like crazy in Oklahoma. I don't know if maybe a woodpecker got up there and had did something, but yeah, it's plugged now, and the nest is gone. After that, that was like a year and a half ago or so. Um, the nest just, they abandoned it. So I tore it down and stuck it in the prenda that I have. Prenda, for the ones that don't know, it's like a spirit pot. It has sticks and bones and cemetery dirt and dead wasps and pretty much something that I can use to either help heal somebody with or fuck somebody up with. You know, either way, I believe in equality. Yeah, my cat's really paranoid when he goes out on the porch, so I really think that there's more up there. I also think I have a couple of squirrels in the attic because I can kind of hear scratching at the corner of my ceiling in my room at some point. Um, I really like just me personally. I kind of want to take down one of the tiles that's up on the ceiling. That way, when it comes to scratching that corner, it'll just like fall through, and then I'll have like a little room buddy, running around driving me crazy. But at the same time, I'm kind of afraid that there's probably more snakes up there, and I don't really want to just open up my room to all visitors. Misty Rose, you see, the same thing happened to my mom, but with a spider, a big ass tarantula. She was out in the yard, and the spider crawls up her leg, and she knocks it off. And I don't know why she grabbed the BB gun away from me. Like, I don't know what that instinct was of her, but I had been outside target shooting and stuff, and she grabbed the BB gun away from me, and we had like the brick foundation on the house, and that's where that spider was. And she shot through the spider. It hit the brick. It come back out, and it stuck in her shin, like right beside her shin bone in her leg. And oh my god, that was like such drama, but it was like so hilarious. Like, I couldn't even help my mom. I was laughing so hard. And then when she realized that the BB was still like lodged into her leg, she told me to call my dad, which was a cop. And he was like, "Oh my god, do we need to call 911?" And he come over there, and he was like telling my grandma to boil water, and get the knife sterilized, and kind of making a big old scene for my mom because she was like really freaking out. But she wasn't freaking out about the BB in her leg. She was freaking out because the BB didn't kill the spider. Like, the spider literally just crawled away. And it was like 3 hours of me constantly laughing. Like, I was literally on the ground laughing, and I knew not to shoot, at the foundation of the house. So I don't know why my mom did it. Like, I still to this day cannot figure out why she did it. But yeah, it was hilarious. After that, she never shot at anything ever again, especially with my dad making this big ass deal. I mean, it was like in the movies, the old movies where, the midwife is ordering everybody around to go and get water and towels and shit. Like, that was literally like what my dad was doing, like making this big old thing up. I've had snakes crawl across the top of my tent and then just like lay there and curl up on top of the tent, and you could like lay there and like see the pattern and stuff through the tent. Shit like that's pretty cool, especially when you know they can't get in the tent. I really do, Grandma. I really, when these taxes come in and stuff, the first thing I'm going to do is go to Kentucky and get my puppy. I need it. Might end up. He called or he texted me today and told me that the puppies are ready. The guy that I've got doing my taxes, I finally got my other W-2 in. My taxes haven't even been filed yet. I need to find people in between here and where he is in Kentucky to like somebody pick up my puppy and then deliver it to the next person until it gets down to me, because I really, really seriously need to go get my puppy, and I won't have the money to do it until I get my taxes in. It's all heartbreaking. I've already bought her collar and stuff. I really will laugh, Grandma. Like, I will help you. I will help you, but I will be laughing the whole time too. Yeah, because most animals do go up a tree. A tree may not actually be a wise choice. I think my favorite snake is the blue racer, or the blue chaser, racer, whatever it's called. We was out at the lake, and this snake started chasing us, and I was little. Like my dad, he was like over 6 foot. Like my mom was like right at 5 foot. I was shorter than that. So I was the last one in that line. And finally, I was just like, fuck it. And I stopped and I turned around. And then the snake stopped and turned around. And so I chased the snake for a little bit. Well, by this time, I'm chasing the snake, and my stepdad is running back to get me so that we can keep running. And the only reason he was running is because my mom was there, and like he knew if he ran, it would freak her out more, kind of a thing. He normally would just like literally pick it up and break its neck and put it in some jewelry or something. He is a big old native guy. Well, I found out that I can chase this snake, and this snake actually runs away from me. So he's chasing me. He grabs me, obviously, pretty quick. He's getting me to run the other way. So this snake comes back and starts chasing again. Well, I'm like, well, shit, I want to try this again. So I stop, and then I started chasing that snake. By the time my mom is kind of figuring out that the snake isn't actually going to hurt us, so she's more worried about me running off than anything. But I love those snakes. Those things are so fun. Yeah, exactly, Grandma. I will help you in any way possible, and if laughing more helps, then definitely. Exactly. And most animals do mind their own business. Like, I mean, you get the occasional asshole in the bunch, but for the most part, they do mind their own business. It's when people start interfering with them and stuff that makes them stray off of their normal everyday or every night path. I mean, it's just like that skunk that keeps coming up in the springs with its babies. The only reason she keeps coming up is because she knows that there's always like dog food and stuff outside. If we didn't live here, we didn't have the dog, we didn't put the dog food out there, she would probably just not be coming up here. But now that she does, I really intend to leave this stuff out for her. And my dog knows that we're talking about animals. He's outside barking. He's either decided that it's time to come in, or the wind is blowing and he's barking at every leaf that moves. He's really good at that too. But yeah, if anybody is between Oklahoma and Kentucky and wants to do a puppy trip, you can have all the puppy lovin's you want on the way. Um, get with me, and as long as people can vouch that like you're a decent person or I already know you, then I have no problem with like sending some gas money. I just i can't do like the whole trip up there and stuff before I get my taxes in. That's it, Grandma. He knows. He's trying to tell me to be nice. Yeah, we don't really have like the huge wolf spiders. I mean, we do obviously, but not that like come into the house and stuff. Usually, it's like the smaller ones that slip through or whatever. I'm really bad about leaving the door open, and just with the energy thing, letting everything air out, and you know, energy's coming and going and stuff like that. So yes, spiders have a tendency to come in, and ladybugs, and um, lightning bugs, and pretty much you name it. But we just like catch them and put them back outside. I don't really believe like enough wastewater or anything like that. Even wasps, if they come in, um, I'll just like catch them in a bowl or something, and then take them out to the side of the house and let them go. That way, maybe they don't just turn around and come right back in the door. Some of them are assholes, though. Some of them come in and out 50 times with me catching them each time. I know I should probably just shut my door when that happens, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down so I can go out and get my big floof ball and bring him in and feed him and love on him and encourage him that it is bath night, which doesn't really take a lot of encouragement because he loves water, as long as it's not rain dripping on his nose. If it hits his nose, he's like psycho. But he'll put his two front feet into the bathtub, but then I have to lift his ass and turn him and get him into the tub. Then he's good. He says he lets me do whatever. But yeah, he's a big old boy. He's Lab and Pit, and um, right now I think he's at like basically 100 pounds. Um, he's kind of he's normally like around 125 when we take him to the vet, but he's been losing some of his hair, like shedding the winter hair off. So he's probably around 100 pounds now. Getting 100 pound pup into a bathtub, that's a chore all in itself. He does. So I will possibly be doing another live tomorrow, because I'm off work tomorrow and Tuesday. So if nothing else, just a general chat to come and hang out. I'll try to get Army Vet, see if he'll come over and drop some music or something. Maybe he will. Well, I gotta go deal with my floofy munchkin out there. So I'll talk to y'all later. Much love, everybody.